about that? Thank you very much, and welcome to another hour of World Championship Wrestling. And, brother, do we have things to talk about this week. Let's very quickly bring in Ole Anderson right now because April 7th marked a historic era in professional wrestling in Baltimore, Maryland.
Well, I'll tell you what, as far as the people up in the northeastern part of the country is concerned, Baltimore was the biggest happening on April 7th. Some situations took place there with the National Arbitration Board for the NWA concerning Mr. Ellering. A lot of great things.
They did indeed. In fact, the matter is, because of the great matches there, we do have a new world television champion. That man indeed is Ronnie Garvin. And I thought we might take a look at the closing moments of that.
Yeah, we've got some film on Ronnie Garvin. We've got a lot of exciting things, so let's get it started right now.
All right, here's Garvin now moving in against Jake the Snake Roberts. Got the lateral press after a grueling match, and you can see that almost hysterical joy of Ronnie Garvin, something that he has gone after for such a long time. It cost him $34,000 in money he had put up against Ellering, that Ellering took, and finally he got that match. And I might point out, too, a tough situation for Jack Briscoe as Ric Flair did retain the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. But, brother, he knew he was in a battle.
You're right. You know, I'm just commenting or thinking right now, the people in Baltimore are real excited about Ronnie Garvin winning that championship. And, of course, the people right here in the studio, and I know the people at home are also excited. You mentioned the match between Flair and Jack Briscoe, a classic match. People are talking about it. Maybe we can take a look at that, too.
This will just give you an idea of the class of competition when you put a man like Jack Briscoe, twice world heavyweight champion, against twice world heavyweight champion Ric Flair. Good reversal, and Briscoe with a high backdrop on Flair. And Briscoe really took the battle to Flair. Flair using that knee, but Briscoe very quickly goes into that side headlock. Notice the way Flair, however, utilizing that to his own advantage. Turned it around, now goes for the figure four, and that, of course, the figure four is what brought Jack Briscoe the World Heavyweight Championship for the first time. He knows full well the pain of that particular hold. But as we said, of course, Ric Flair did retain the World Heavyweight Championship. And you had a chance to talk to a lot of the fans at ringside.
Well, I kind of played Gordon Soley for a little bit, and there's one thing, of course, that's so important to us here at World Championship Wrestling, and that's the fans. And when we were up in Baltimore, we had an opportunity to talk to the wrestling fans in Baltimore. If we've got that, I think you'd be very interested in hearing the comments.
Okay, this is what you had to say.
Here we are at the Baltimore Civic Center, Baltimore, Maryland, talking to the wrestling fans coming to see Georgia Championship Wrestling. And I've got a beautiful young lady with me right here. And can you tell us your name, please?
Christina Diana Hanley.
Christine, what do you think about Georgia Championship Wrestling?
I love it. I watch it every Saturday at 12 o'clock.
My goodness, a TV plug and everything.
We want to see Ronnie Garvin get the belt.
We've got a lot of people out here that are all anxious to see the match. Just a second, we got a loud one over here. Hang on.
We'll see Ronnie Garvin get that belt.
What's your name?
Musselman.
Musselman?
Yeah.
You got a first name or a last?
Yeah, Mike.
Mike. Hello, Mike. How do you like Georgia Championship Wrestling?
Hey, man, it's the best. It's better than up here. I'll tell you what. Andre the Giant can't compare with King Kong Bundy. We like Bundy, man.
You got it.
Bundy.
You've got it. The fans are picking Bundy over Andre the Giant. Let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
How do you like World Championship Wrestling?
World Championship Wrestling is the best. The what? The best to me, and I'm Delbert Strawberry saying World Championship Wrestling is far better than Hulk Hogan, the World Wrestling Federation champion. I come to see Ric Flair and the guy that you know. There's two guys that's twice world champion. They come down here and you let Baltimore have it. This is Georgia Championship Wrestling. Come to Baltimore, and it's far better than Madison Square Garden.
Some very strong statements, but we're glad that you, the fans, do enjoy World Championship Wrestling in the manner in which it is presented to you. The finest athletes in the world, no question about it.
And I wanted to say that the people out there in the northeastern part of the country, in particular in the metro New York area, and specifically in the Meadowlands, that's right, the Meadowlands, you're going to be as excited as the people in Baltimore were, and you'd be watching because next week we're going to be having some specific information concerning the Meadowlands.
And I might point out, too, that Precious Paul Ellering will not be on the program today because he is in St. Louis appealing some of the arbitration that took place on April 7th in Baltimore, an era-making night, I might point out, and, well, we'll tell you more about that later on, right?
Well, right now we've got a heck of a match in the ring, and let's see if we can.
Join me, he is no longer the world television champion.
Don't worry about how long I've been world television champion, how long I'm not world television champion. Why don't you go to the ring here and see a couple of real men?
Fair enough. Let's go see the World Tag Team Champions Jack and Jerry Briscoe in action. They're going up against...
Bring that up, Gordon. There's no need for that to come out here popping on that. We had a very, very rough time with Ronnie Garvin. Everybody knows that. Ronnie Garvin's the toughest man I've ever been in the ring with. But that doesn't mean that I won't be in there with him again. I'll be back in there.
Quick takedown by Jack Briscoe. Jack Briscoe has Rose up a full body slam once again. Briscoe wasting no time in going after these men. Brother, you talk about an all-out offense. They've got a Jack and Jerry Briscoe.
You see what happens, Gordon, is it's a sign of the times. There's been a new era coming to all these spectacular dates coming up. I know the Briscoes are in on it. I'm in on it. Everybody's in on it. And it means the biggest money ever for a wrestler. It means the most excitement ever for the fans. So I'm going to be glad to be right in the middle of it. You can count on that.
Beautiful moves by Briscoe as Rose tried to get in behind him, and Briscoe gets behind his man. Starts to partially post, keeping a good loose ride going, and Rose trying to sit out and gets himself into a predicament here very, very quickly. Now this
Rose should understand these guys rewrote the textbooks when it came to wrestling amateur at Oklahoma, and you can't stay with the Briscoes when you come to amateur.
side headlock by Barber, but a good forward leg trip by Briscoe, and again the tag is made, and Jack Briscoe moves back into the ring. Both of these men went to Oklahoma State under wrestling scholarships. Oklahoma, of course, produced some great wrestlers over the year, including, naturally, Cowboy Bill Watts out of Oklahoma itself. Good shoulder smash by Briscoe puts Barber back to the canvas.
It's only a matter of time. That Jack Briscoe, you know, I watched him wrestle Rick Flair, one of the greatest matches I've ever seen, Gordon. And I've been in a lot of great matches myself. So when I say somebody had a great match, it was a great match. And Jack Briscoe is a great man to watch and learn. Look at that Gerald come in there.
Oklahoma side roll.
Got him in the ropes, though. Got him in the ropes. Aggressive wrestling, that's what I call that. It's fair, but it's a very aggressive. The same thing I do, Gordon. There's no need for fists like Garvin and some of these other guys. Just aggressive wrestling. That's all we do. And the Briscoes are doing some of the best right now.
Interesting commentary by Jake the Snake Roberts, and it is Pat Rose now with an Irish whip on Briscoe. Caught him with a drop kick coming off the ropes. Briscoe may have been stunned on that when Rose brings him up once again. Another full body slam.
Boy, Gerald. Come on, Gerald. Look at that. Right back out on the top. You can't keep him down.
Excellent counters here by Jerry Briscoe. And, of course, counter wrestling becomes a very, very important facet in the pro ranks.
You know, this Pat Rose, you know, even though Gerald's on top of him now and he's got him where he wants him, he's got him trapped, Pat Rose has impressed me several times, Gordon, and I think he's about a half a day away from being something special. Just a half a move away from maybe being a contender. Gerald and roughing him up there, I like that. Aggressive wrestling within the count, so everything's fine there. Just aggressive wrestling.
Good move by Rose. May have Briscoe in trouble here. Rolling reverse. Briscoe powered out. Powerful underbody. And now the tag is made. Barber moves back into the ring. Jack Briscoe very quickly. An Irish whip off the ropes into a high backdrop. Well executed by Jack Briscoe. And, brother, he is one of the most coolly efficient competitors I've ever seen.
Brothers will be brothers. Oh, what a nice move, man. That's what you call doubling up. But it's within the 4 count, Gordon, so it's a legal move. It's just aggressive wrestling.
High vertical suplex once again by Briscoe. And Briscoe going for the figure 4.
It's history now. How many times have you seen this, Gordon? How many times?
Countless numbers. That's what brought Jack Briscoe the World Heavyweight Championship. The most effective hold, I think, in professional wrestling, and beautifully executed by the Briscoe brothers as they emerge out of this match complete victors. No question about it. I'm going to see if I can't get a word or two with Jack and Jerry Briscoe. Let's take a look at it again in slow motion. You'll see exactly what we're talking about. Some quick double teaming here just before the count was completed. And watch now as Jerry Briscoe moves in on his man. Has him well under control. He was pretty well stunned. A good vertical suplex coming up right here. High back bridge by Jerry Briscoe. And now watch Jerry that's it. He moves from there to the figure 4, and it was all over. And gentlemen, congratulations, a fine match.
Well, Gordon, once again, I'd like to make one statement. We came here looking for Boy Mark and Boy Jay Youngblood to defend these World Tag Team Champions. They didn't show. And once and for all, that proves that the Briscoe brothers are the predominant #1 team in the world of professional wrestling. Bloods, you meet us anywhere, Meadowlands, anywhere that you want to meet us, we will be there with the gold around our waist.
Fair enough. And now let's go to Ole Anderson.
Don't forget tonight in Columbus, Ohio, wrestling, and tomorrow in Cincinnati. But, Mr. Ellering, a special message for you. You're out in St. Louis, we know, protesting. But we have word from the NWA office, Bob Geigel, president, that on the Omni show of April 22nd, your Road Warriors will be in a special match against none other than King Kong Bundy and the Masked Superstar. Road Warriors can win. Mr. Superstar has to unmask. However, if the Superstar and Bundy win, then Mr. Bundy gets 3 minutes all by himself with Paul Ellering in that ring. Now, a lot of people are going to think, and I'm sure Ellering is going to think, that he's going to have the Road Warriors down to help him. Police are going to escort the Road Warriors out of the ring. So all you got to do, Ellering, is worry, because 3 minutes with Bundy can be like an eternity. If the Road Warriors lose, Bundy has got Ellering by himself. The Road Warriors won't be able to interfere because the police will make sure that the Road Warriors are out of the building.
And there's no way that any appeal that Mr. Ellering has before Bob Geigel now is going to work. It will take place.
He's out there, but he's just wasted a time. April 22nd might be your day, Paul.
Sunday, April 22nd, the Omni in Atlanta, 8:30, a sensational card. The Road Warriors clash with King Kong Bundy and the Superstar. And if the Bundy Superstar team wins, Bundy gets 3 minutes in the ring with precious Paul Ellering alone. If the Road Warriors win, the Superstar must unmask. World TV Championship, Ron Garvin, champion against the Spoiler. Jake the Snake Roberts takes on Brad Armstrong. Les Thornton and Rocky Jones collide with Sweet Brown Sugar and Tim Horner. Tommy Rogers against Bob Root. A super card. Easter night.
This is Arn Anderson and Jerry Stubbs as tag team partners. And, well, as Ole said, of course, there have been apparently some philosophical changes. And you can see now that Stubbs pretty well in control of the situation here. The tag is made, and it's Arn Anderson moving in. And, of course, I've got to say one thing. The Andersons, through the years, have always been known as completely aggressive competitors. And certainly Arn is carrying on that aspect of the Anderson tradition.
Well, I think that sometimes we had some people that looked at us and thought maybe we weren't quite doing the right thing, but I'd like to think at least that we were aggressive, I think is a good word. And we realized how important it was to win. And we gave, I think, without question, 100%. And I feel that when we wrestled, Gene and I, that we did have the respect. Maybe not always, the people didn't always like us, maybe. But I think we had the respect. I think they knew when they watched us wrestle that we could at least wrestle.
No question about that. And right now, Arn Anderson punishing his opponent on the ring ropes and then hooking him back into the center of the ring. Now using the flat of the foot. I say completely and totally aggressive. Now makes the tag with Jerry Stubbs. And Stubbs, of course, an outstanding competitor, former law enforcement officer. And, brother, I'll tell you what, he's got it all together. There's no question about it. But the other team not faring well against this combination. Into the ropes, and the referee calls for the break. And notice the way Stubbs just brings his man back toward the center of the ring, taking every possible advantage. Now hurdles his opponent outside the ring. And his other opponent perhaps just a bit hesitant. Arn Anderson now outside, taking advantage, being certainly more than just somewhat opportunistic here. And punishing a man from the outside, then rolling him back into the ring, so he's an easy prey now for Jerry Stubbs. Stubbs moving methodically, now makes the tag. Arn Anderson moves back into the ring. Now notice here the double teaming just within the count of 4, just barely within the count of 4. And Anderson off the ropes with a boot right into the back of his opponent. And it is his opponent striking back, but those punches not having too much authority. Anderson with a chop into the throat. And that is something that is a bit unusual because you nor Gene were never much for chops.
No, we didn't use the chops to any extent. We didn't try to use the boots. We tried to just keep the man on the mat. And, of course, the thing that we were best at was capitalizing on one part of the body, always an arm or a leg or the head, whatever it might be, and we just stuck with that until we wore somebody down. Arn's doing things a bit differently.
Quick double team here. They catch him coming off of the ropes. Two backs of the elbows into the upper chest and lower throat area. And now, of course, they're going past the rules. And again, you see a good move here on the part of their opponents. And now, this young fellow exploding on the team of Arn Anderson and Jerry Stubbs and has the two of them in trouble here. Remember, he is fresh. He has been, caught that time right at the belt line by Arn Anderson. He used that headbutt very, very effectively. Somersaulting through and away. Comes back, charging back in for more action, but the tag was made. And a wearied opponent here got more than his share of problems. And watch this. Stubbs and Anderson, and very definitely a potent tag team combination, exceptionally dangerous. So there you see them, Jerry Stubbs and more particularly Arn Anderson, and you are looking just a little bit troubled.
Well, let's see what he has to say.
Okay, we do have some videotaped comments by Arn Anderson that I think all of you are going to find most interesting, and I think you'll understand then why there's a look of consternation on the face of one Ole Anderson. Let's go to this interview.
Everybody's saying, what's wrong with Arn Anderson? He's got an attitude problem. What's wrong with him? Why is he hurting people? Why is he putting people out of wrestling? They've brought everybody they could in here to stop me, including Andre the Giant, and he couldn't get it done either. So they've called Ole, plea bargaining. Ole, do something with him. Well, Ole's even upset. He's standing up there in his seersucker suit and his $2 tie saying what's right and what's wrong. What's wrong with Arnold? He sent a message to me. You're not doing right. Well, Ole, you must be getting senile in your old age because you taught me how to do what I'm doing, and you were the best. Were is a key word. Now I'm the best. Maybe I'm the only Anderson left, but that's okay. You sent me a message. Now I'm sending you one. Pig face. Next time you get on national television and say anything about me, just remember one thing. Atlanta's not too far away, and Delta's ready when I am, and you know what I mean.
One fall, television time remaining. Jake the Snake Roberts moving out against Roger Bonds, and the Snake gets a side chancery and a quick takedown on Bond. Puts the boots to him. And he wears those long cowboy boots. Jake the Snake has him up to play. And Bond bounced about 2.5 feet right back up in the air. Take a quick second to wish young Mr. Coulter, Wayne Coulter's son, up in Chicago, a happy birthday. Belatedly. And it is Jake the Snake really punishing Bond. Ron Allenar, very capable ring announcer, recouping from some recent surgery. He's doing well, we're pleased to say. Bond caught again in the midsection by Jake the Snake Roberts. And Roberts, just as methodical and just as deadly as always when he steps in that squared circle. Ooh. And you can hear him asking for Garvin. He's bitter about losing that championship to the man with the hands of stone, Ronnie Garvin.
The Snake is upset, and Ellering, of course, is upset, and I don't think it'll be too much longer before even the Road Warriors will find themselves just a little bit upset. Don't forget that we've got some people coming in here like the superstar, like Rocky Jones, that kid that we had on TV several weeks ago. Some really good-looking, capable young men coming to World Championship Wrestling area.
In our continuing program of excellence in bringing you the finest in wrestling competition, you'll be seeing it each week here on World Championship Wrestling. Now the side headlock by Jake the Snake Roberts are up against the rope. Bond fires him off. Roberts caught him. Very aggressive shoulder to the chest of Bond, and Bond taking that percussion that some of the wind knocked out of him. And there's the DDT. There is the DDT. And suffice to say that Mr. Bond, I don't believe, will be getting up. He is not getting up at all. You know, talking about great competitors, Les Thornton, the World Junior Heavyweight Champion, has really found himself set with a lot of challenges.
Well, I've watched him in a couple of matches recently up in Cleveland and up in Saginaw, and each time that he's been in the ring, he's had a real tough opponent.
Here we see him in action now against Tim Horner. And Horner is a young man who wants very, very badly to win that World Junior Heavyweight Championship. Bear in mind, Thornton has held this title an unprecedented 4 times. His most recent acquisition of the title was in that round-robin tournament that was held in Manila in the Philippines several months ago. And Thornton, of course, from Great Britain, a man of 1,001 holds, has been an outstanding champion, but there's a lot of people nipping at his heels.
It sure is. You know, when I watch Thornton, you see a guy that is really a ruggedly built, well-developed wrestler. He knows an awful lot about wrestling, but he's just got that ability to continue in the face of adversity, and, of course, that's what's made him such a great champion.
No question about it. And here you see Thornton using that forearm right across the front of the face. Now, that's got to sting and also confuse his opponent. Keep that head reeling and try and cut off that oxygen supply. Tim Horner's got his problems here, the referee checking carefully. And Thornton, a KG ring veteran, well, he's the best there is in the junior heavyweight division at this time.
He sure is. I was just going to comment about the fact that when he was giving him those forearms, they weren't so much designed to hurt anybody, as you said it, to confuse, disorient, like slapping somebody pretty heavily across the bridge of the nose or around the cheekbones. There's really nothing illegal about it, but it sure is tough to deal with when you're in the ring.
Very demoralizing, and Horner, however, coming out of it extremely well, beginning to fight fire with fire. Horner taking some understandable shortcuts. We're deep into this match, and both men have been giving it 110% all the way down the line. And Horner now uncorks a hard right hand, and Thornton, equal to the task, fires back. And neither man, well, now it's Horner beginning to take the edge on Thornton. But nobody can ever say that Thornton's got a glass jaw, that's for sure. No,
he's taking those punches. You know, I think right here is a classic example of where we're looking at the great ones in Les Thornton, and we're looking at the ones that are going to be great, the ones that are the up-and-comers, like a kid like Tim Horner. And certainly at World Championship Wrestling, guys like Ronnie Garvin and Brad Armstrong and Tommy Rogers, this young man here, Tim Horner, Rocky Jones will be here with us shortly. That's where the future of wrestling lies, and these kids are really good.
They are indeed. There you see Thornton using that forearm extremely effectively on Mr. Horner. And now Thornton driving that knee into the prefrontal lobe. And, of course, boy, that can do some personality rearranging. I can assure you of that. The referee down there, but Horner gets that shoulder off before the count of 3. Tough, hard-fought battle between these two fine athletes. Horner with the edge in speed, but certainly Thornton, the World Junior Heavyweight Champion, with a wide margin in the situation of experience. Our time is pretty rapidly running down here as you see Horner rolling to one side. Thornton taking the brunt of that punishment right on the knee. And, of course, Horner now quickly seizing that opportunity, taking advantage of it, punishing the femoris and hamstring muscles of Les Thornton. Now the spinning toe hold. And, well, I think a lesser man would have conceded to that spinning toe hold right then and there. That, of course, is what brought Dory Funk Jr. the World Heavyweight Championship, that very hold.
You bring up another very interesting point. There's no time for timeouts. There's no time for rest and relaxation. In wrestling, the 2 men go at it, or the 4 men, or whoever's in the ring. And if they get hurt, they have a choice. They give up or they continue. And I think that it's a very, very rare occurrence indeed when a man would give up. And here you see 2 men battling, and as you said, they were well into the match and still going at it strong. It's amazing.
It is indeed. Well, I'll tell you something. The stamina, the endurance, the cardiovascular development of the professional wrestler is without peer. No question about it. There goes Horner in that rolling reverse into the